Tesla here on the weekly chart, we're trading just below that 405 cycle level. We're down around 1.5% on the day from yesterday's close. Obviously, everybody is looking forward to tomorrow with that NVIDIA earnings coming after market. So we're going to see how things kind of shake out as we get closer to that earnings report tomorrow after market. But right now, where are we currently sitting here on this weekly chart? Well, we're kind of riding this 50-day SMA. You can see this lower wick that came in here so far on the week, kind of bouncing right off of that. That's at 393 mark. We're going to see if these 400s do hold going into tomorrow and that earnings call tomorrow for NVIDIA. If not, then anything below at that 400, we're looking at this 50-day SMA. And then anything outside of that, we're kind of down here near these 370s, which is going to be where our lower trend line of this overall structure is sitting at. Now, to the upside in here, what are we looking at? So that's if the 400s do hold. Then to the upside in here, we are going to be focusing on that 414. That was a spot that was a good resistance. I feel like we mentioned that kind of level ever since we have been doing these videos this year, right? So 414 is going to be the spot in here outside of that 400. And then anything beyond that, we're going to be focusing up here at that 441 level. Your RSI is basically neutral in here. Your volume looks like it's going to end up being more or less average as it was for the past few weeks in here. So don't expect anything crazy to happen. But again, things could change. But so far, it's looking like just more or less going to be an average weekend here. Your applied volatility is probably going to contract just a bit unless there's some sort of big outlier move. But it looks like overall, we're just going to be kind of inside this overall structure, riding this 50-day SMA. If we do end up coming out of it here soon, then we're going to be down here, like we just mentioned, in those 370s. But if we do hold, then look for a little pop in here and then watch out for those 414s and then beyond. We're also going to take a look at ticker symbol NIO here. That's going to be NIO on this weekly chart. We're going to see what happens overall. And speaking of riding 50-day SMAs, you can see we're kind of right here as well. That's trading at that 550 mark. So that's going to be a nice cycle level for us. If we do end up pulling back any further, we're about 2.5% down today from yesterday's close. So if we do end up pulling back any further, look for that 50-day to kind of give us a good footing in here. If that does not hold, then obviously we're going to be down here below it at that 513. And then you're looking down here at that 447, which was a huge support for us back at the beginning of the year. Now to the upside in here, what are we looking at? Well, the 9-day EMA is trading at 591. That's going to be our first hurdle. If we can get above that, then that should be a good floor for us to kind of bounce off of. And then we're going to be looking to kind of keep going back up to these highs that we had so far on the year, which is going to be 731. And then that sooner or later, it's going to be that $8 mark in here, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at overall in NIO. Kind of the same thing as Tesla in here, right? So your RSI, momentum indicators, kind of all saying the same thing. Hey, it's going to be neutral. Your volume is going to basically be the same as it was the past few weeks. So let's see what happens overall in here. We're going to see if we get any sort of correlation from the overall earnings call that we're going to get from NVIDIA tomorrow in NIO. If so, then look for a little consolidation or maybe a bounce here off of that 50-day SMA. If not, we're going to see how it all correlates in the end. But again, that's what we're looking at in Tesla. That's what we're looking at in NIO, more or less kind of the same story, right? So two completely different stocks, price range wise, but kind of the same thing, right? So everything's neutral. Watch for that 50-day SMA and let's just hold on and see how we're going to correlate with the overall market and that NVIDIA earnings report tomorrow. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.